Now in tonight's record Powerball jackpot, for some big lottery winners, their fortune quickly turned into misfortune, and the bad luck didn't always have to do with money.
Dodge Viper, a Lamborghini, or a Ferrari. I really haven't decided which one yet.
It's an R-Series Bentley Rolls-Royce convertible.
Yeah, fancy cars, mansions, a Learjet. David Lee Edwards and his fiancée, Shauna, $27 million after taxes playing Powerball back in 2001. But he says in just 1 year, he spent $12 million of that, and he ultimately lost all of his money, filed for divorce, and died in hospice care just 2 years ago.
It was bad judgment, bad choice.
Do you want to say a few words, Amanda?
That is Amanda Clayton. Remember her? She won $1 million in the Michigan State Lottery, then got into some legal trouble after continuing to collect welfare benefits after winning the lottery. 1 year after winning, she died of an apparent drug overdose. And in 2002, Jack Whitaker won $315 million in the Powerball jackpot. At the time, it was the largest jackpot in U.S. history. Less than a year later, more than $500,000 in cash stolen from his car. In the years since, his daughter and granddaughters, well, they ultimately died. They died untimely deaths. And a few years back, more of his money was stolen from various bank branches, he says.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Yeah, it's kind of a downer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you still want to play after all that, joining us live with financial advice is David Rae of Trilogy Finance. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
And David, can I call you David?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, many financial advisors say if one person wins tonight jackpot, that they should take the annuity. So what are your thoughts about that?
You know, I'm a big fan of the lump sum. I think you want to control that money. The rate the government's going to pay you to keep that money for 30 years really isn't that great. You can do a lot better on your own. The one caveat I do have, if you're someone that's going to be like your people you just showed, they're going to blow through that in a year, maybe you want to take the lump sum and at least spread it out over 30 years, or at least hopefully keep you from blowing through it in 1 or 2 years.
You know, David, this is a good segue because we actually have a look here at the difference at the lump sum versus a payout annuity. These are just estimates, of course, but after taxes, a lump sum gives you close to about $700 million, but an annuity gets you more than $1 billion. Now, that's over 30 years. That's a lot of money to leave on the table, but that's 30 years. So, David, is there like an age cutoff that you recommend? I mean, we want to be able to enjoy 30 years, but also you want to know, you want to be realistic, you know, if you're
30, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, if you do want to plan that, you have to figure out how long this money has to last. If you're 90, take the lump sum. I mean, you're gonna have a tough time running through it. Even if you're blowing it through in a few years, you might be having a good time with it. But if you're a little younger, you do want to make this smart. Work with a planner like myself. My firm has handled several financial plans for people who won the lottery, so they can make it last their lifetime. They can make it work for their family, their friends, and not just buy the cars and blow it.
Okay, so it depends on who you are.
It really depends on your
age and
individual
where you are in
situation.
life, right?
And you're going to make more money. It looks like you're getting less money taking the lump sum than you would if you waited 30 years, but you get it now and you can make it grow for yourself and hopefully get $2 or $3 billion. You know, no one wants just $700 million. That might be a little tight. You know.
It's a big shocker to see the bottom line, how much money is taken out in taxes.
Not just a lump sum, that's before taxes.
Right. But I mean, should people put it in a trust? Should they start a business? Should they put money into a foundation? What's the best way?
Look at what's right for you. Figure out what you want to do, what you need for your family. Put aside money for your kids' college education. Start a foundation for things that are important to you. If you have a charity or a cause you really like, you can make a lot more benefit by saving money on taxes. If you start that foundation, you may not pay taxes on a good portion of it, or you can make it grow tax-free or grow specifically for that charity. And that money's set aside and it's out of your Lamborghini fund, so you don't buy one for every day of the week.
Oh, I love this. Look, we're going to give people your information. You have really great. Now, this is pretty sad. We just showed that piece about those people losing all of their millions of dollars. Now, according to the National Endowment for Financial Education, 70% of people who unexpectedly come into large sums of money actually blow it in just 7 years.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is, David?
There's a ton of reasons. I think people ignore the taxation. They go, I won $1.5 billion to go blow that. It's not fun, but people don't have a plan. They don't have trusted advisors around them. And people have their hand out. When you are on that show and you get that big check for $1 million or $1 billion, every person you've ever met is going to come ask you for money.
And you have some tips, right?
I do have some tips.
Okay.
Don't make any rash decisions. Make sure you have a plan. Work with an advisor like myself, work with an estate planning attorney, work with a tax attorney to make sure you know how much money you actually have. Make sure you plan ahead and don't make the rash decisions so that every friend you know gets $1 million. And don't ignore gift taxes. We've had some people run into that over the years. they give the money away and don't realize they're going to owe money on taxes further beyond the money they paid to get the lottery.
Okay, so be financially smart.
Right.
That's what
Sounds about, that's the way to boil it down, absolutely.
And a good financial advisor would want somebody like a tax attorney and maybe somebody else to all work together so you can kind of watch each other, right?
Yeah, we just definitely, we don't want Madoff to run away with your money, so.
So no one-stop shopping.
No
Should be
one-stop
different-
shopping. You know, there's a few different professionals, and we all bring different things to the table, especially when we're talking $1 billion. You do want to have an estate planning attorney, you do want to have a tax attorney, and you want to have a financial planner to make sure that you're doing what's right for you.
Such good information, David.
Absolutely. And you want to have makeup and wardrobe. Just
We
kidding.
love makeup and
I'm
wardrobe.
kidding. Okay. Now, the odds that someone will win tonight are pretty good by 9.